And it's, one game in 14 days and in terms of practice.
Well, there are some rules that, with regard to when you can play, so we still took Wednesday off, by rule. So Tuesday we did a shoot around and then sat in a hotel and then flew back. Wednesday we took off, went hard yesterday, practiced today. It's just one of those things you just deal with it. It's unique.
Would you say that the way your team is built with the depth you have, you can maybe sustain the challenge ahead more than some teams could? Did you play so many guys?
I think, depth is going to help you through a long, grueling season. We're down near the end. Theoretically, it would help. I think you get to this time of year, guys would rather play games in practice anyway. So if you play 3 games in a week, realistically, the travel aspect of it is more tiresome than the game itself.
You've had a lot of travel issues this year, from the Bahamas to Michigan to this.
Yeah, it's been a unique year in that sense. We spend so much time and the resources, put money behind it to try to minimize those situations. We all do in this league. We all do at this level. We're taking chartered planes and we're staying in nice places. We're eating well, and obviously the theory being over the course of a long season, it's going to be very helpful to you. I think there's no question that it has been. You want to keep playing if you can. You want to get into the tournament. You want to keep playing.
Status quo as far as you use your rotation, because of all the quick games here you're going to be having. Have you thought about changing the way you substitute or anything? Or are you just going to play the way you play?
No, I think everything will be the same. We'll still sub a lot. Throughout the course of the game, certain players are playing really well or not playing as well. We'll play more or less depending. But that's no different.
The fact that Purdue was willing to move that game, that on the surface appears to be huge, because it gives a day of rest after all those games will be.
Yeah, I just think that was a really professional thing, and I really appreciate that by the administration and Matt's willingness to play the game on Sunday under the circumstances. I think we all appreciate their professionalism there.
How long was it discussed to potentially go to Baker's Life, and then did February 27th automatically kind of come up as the next best thing?
Well, I think our hope was to stay, and play it either in Bloomington or Indianapolis the next day if they could get it fixed. But my first conversation with Fred Glass, he was adamant, look, it's not going to be ready for us to play here. So then we checked, the schedule of Baker's Life, and they had an open day. But my understanding is that is way more complicated than you would think. Was it just everybody go over there? Well, it doesn't quite work that way, I guess. I'm not in that industry. I don't want to critique anybody in an area that I don't know anything about. But I guess maybe if we had more time, a couple extra days, but not in less than 24 hours, would be able to do that. So the best thing to do was fly home, regroup, get reasonable people together to do the best we can in a difficult situation. I think that's what we did. So I was really impressed by our league, by both administrations, by Purdue. And, like I said, we'll just go play the games when they're scheduled now.
Are you concerned at all this will only be your second game in 14 days? You're playing a Wisconsin team who's playing very, very well. Is that a concern?
No, it really isn't. I think we respect how they're playing. They're playing really well. I think we've been playing well when we played. We've had a little more time off. I think both teams are going to play hard tomorrow.
Has it allowed your team to get a little healthier? Sapp was dinged up a little bit.
Yeah, Pete and Clemens in particular. I think it helped them. So that's always good.
With the travel, will you be going then directly to Indiana from Minnesota? Okay. And how challenging was it as far as being able to assemble that whole process without having to fly home first?
I don't think it was that difficult.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, you're missing an extra day of class. That was a concern across the board, but I think we're under the limits and we're okay.
Will Indiana reimburse you for travel costs?
I don't know. That's not my area. Ask somebody else that one.
Go out of your salary. What is it about Wisconsin now that, I'm sure you watch a lot of games, when they were struggling, when they're playing well now? What is the difference?
Well, the simple answer is they were making shots. They weren't making shots. They were making shots. But it's obviously more complicated than that. I think Kaminsky's really stepped his game up. I mean, Kaminsky, Decker, and Gosser are really playing well. You know, that said, Russ is still the leading scorer. Nigel Hayes is really, you know, I think, amped up his game, in particular at the offensive end. So they have so many weapons, whether it be from the three-point line or the post. You know, they just got different ways that they can score, and they've got experience. They don't make a ton of mistakes.
Does this magnify your one game at a time approach? It seems like it would.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just don't see how you would ever do anything else in this league. You start looking down the road, you're just going to get beat. You can't. I mean, everybody's too good.
Fran, it's such an unusual situation having essentially consecutive weeks off in February, which, I mean, there's a reason why nobody schedules this way. Did you do anything different from a practice perspective when you got home to adjust, or is it just we do what we do?
No, you know, we had to give Wednesday off, and then we just practiced yesterday. We went hard yesterday. We didn't do a lot on Tuesday, and we didn't practice Wednesday. The guys came in and lifted on their own on Wednesday, which I think was good, because that way we could get up and running on Thursday.
When you look at Brust, and especially just from the outside, I know he's banged up or whatever, what kind of challenges does he present? Just because he wasn't very good in the first half against you last time, but then in the second half he was.
Well, you know, I think that's the thing that makes him unique. He can go 0 for 7 and then make the game winner. You know, not everybody can do that. You know, normally he's fairly consistent with his shooting and his play. You know, very consistent guy that produces and helps his team win. But his ability to make the dagger threes, you know, has been impressive over the years, and not everybody can do that.
You have both Devin and Aaron. You know, Devin's played a little over 31 minutes a game in Big Ten play, and Aaron's under 31 minutes. Is that a plus, a luxury that they still should have legs left this part of the season because of your depth?
You know, I think those guys really do a good job taking care of their bodies. You know, we really monitor how hard we push them in practice. You know, obviously, the idea is to get them to where they need to be. You know, either of them, whoever under the weather or whoever felt, you know, I'd give them time. But I trust their professionalism. So I'm hopeful that, yeah, they got plenty of legs left.